Dr. Franco Friedman in the Department of Materials Engineering. Being in Ghana here, I've been working on a couple of things, energy, water, but mostly I focus more on water purification. Because our water bodies are really messy with these galamsey issues, etc. So finding ways and means, nano technological ways of treating water. So that have been my focus for some past few years that I've been here. I was in Myeongju University in the Republic of Korea, and I might say that is one of the few universities that are private universities in Korea, but it's a fantastic place to be. I mean, it's a small university, but comparing the facilities and everything to KNUST, I can't even compare them in terms of facilities. KNUST is where I had my first degree, and then Professor Kofi, he was the HOD then, he called me and advised me that, they need my services, and after school I should join them. Currently, I've been working on synthesizing zeolite, synthesizing nanofibers, membranes, all for water purification, and also synthesizing carbon-based materials for energy application, specifically supercapacitors. The rationale behind my projects, especially with zeolite and membranes. Ghana, we have huge issues with galamsey, water pollution. And also even some of the rural areas still have difficulty getting clean water. So the motivation was to solve water problems, especially in the northern part of Ghana, where we have some of their waters polluted with fluorine. So one of our works that we even published in Material Chemistry and Physics last year, we tried to we got water from Bongo district, and we realized that their fluorine content was too high. So we synthesized zeolite from kaolin, our own clay in Ghana here, and we use it to treat the water body. But because it is laboratory scale and not mass scale, it's difficult for us to send it out there. But we were able to publish that paper, and we are getting a lot of recommendation, and also other people are trying to get us to give some talk on that particular paper. With material research, usually we need so many infrastructure, like scanning electron microscope, so that any material that we produce, we can tell the morphology. If we have to change any structure, we have to be able to at least know the kind of structure we are getting, so that we can change it, because based on the structure we can change the properties which will influence the performance. But we don't have scanning electron microscope, we don't have X-ray diffractometer, which will also help us to know the phases that we are getting from the material that we are producing. So sometimes it becomes very difficult working in our environment. Sometimes after preparing our samples, we need to send them to other countries, our friends in other countries, to do this characterization for us. Because as engineers, we still have scientific backing with us. So if we are telling the world that whatever that we are producing can solve this problem, it means that we should be able to scientifically prove the structure of the material. But we don't have these facilities to help us. So it makes our work very difficult. Sometimes you can send samples somewhere to take several months. Meanwhile, you're competing with other researchers. So it becomes very difficult. Since I came back to Ghana, my collaboration has been with some of my few friends that I knew from South Korea. Here too, there's one faculty member or one guy in Legon that sometimes we try to collaborate. His name is Dr. Anand, trying to do one or two things together. Then also within the department, we have faculty members that we collaborate a lot. Most of our publications, we share ideas, we solve problems. Sometimes if I have challenges If I have issues that is maybe buffering me or my students, we are having challenges, we can just consult any of them, and they have really been of help. I mean, senior colleagues here, I mean, they've been assisting us every now and then, and they've been mentoring us. So as for collaboration, I think it's okay. Even some from civil engineering, Professor Udrukwatin and the rest, they've been helpful. Yes. Since I came, KNUST has some, I would say, some many funds that we can tap into. Some from the OGR, then also even within the college we have CISA, we have KEEP, that they always try to assist researchers with their ideas. So as I speak, I have gotten at least 2 sort of funding from CISA, 1 from KEEP, and all of which have ended up in some kind of number of publications. So the little that we get, we try to maximize it. Because getting funds, we've tried some funding. Usually in Ghana, you have to have some collaborators somewhere who will be like a mentor. So this is some of the challenges that we have. But the small one that we get, we try to maximize it. Though it's very competitive even within our own country, but unlike, in I would say South Korea, the industry were always willing to fund research. Even the government, at the end of the year, every year the government provides so much funds for every university. No matter whether you're a public university or private university, you have access to everything, even facilities the government provide them. But here it's I would say it's the opposite. Yeah. I'll start from, you see, because we lack facilities, in here the theory outweighs the practicals, such that if you get any opportunity to have hands on the practicals, at least, though initially you may struggle, but with the theory knowledge, it will help you to. But since I handle some few courses, sometimes I try as much as possible to incorporate some of the practicals that I think we can easily do. A typical example is I'm teaching pyrometallurgy. And pyrometallurgy is extractive process that when you go to this company in Tema, B5, Tema Steel, they are mostly working within this, using this to do their works. And within the pyro, there are some individual topics that I talk to the lab manager in my department that some of the practicals, they can do it in the lab. So the lab sessions that they have for this academic year, we've incorporated the aspect of pyrometallurgy into the practicals that they will be doing, so that after the theory, when they go to the lab, they will do it as part of their lab sessions, which we have made provision for that. So I think these are some of the few things that we can do. Currently, we are planning on having industrial trip to B5, so that the students will understand the course that I am teaching. And the students are aware, so we are currently planning for the trip. This is the only few things that we can do, because if we are to have our own facilities, if we are to build foundry, even in KNUST here, I think it will be of help for students, especially when it comes to production. But ours, so engineering has turned more into theory with minimal practicals. I hope and pray that one day we will get, I would say, leaders who will put their feet on ground that let's go the production way, industrialization way. Let's equip our universities. Let's make the universities innovative centers to come out with ideas, especially when it comes to engineering. Every country that struggles have issue with engineering. If we go into production, it means that we getting facilities, getting research centers in the in our college or in the whole university. It can give that avenue for students to be able to have hands on some of these things, so so that when they go into the job market, things will be easier for them. I remember when I went to South Korea, in my lab is Advanced Materials Lab. I was the only materials engineering student there. Most of them were chemical engineers, chemistry students. And because I was equipped with theory, there were things I was handling. But the practical knowledge was something that I was always, fighting with. Or I would say I was always lacking. So it got to a time when I became properly good with the practicals. I became the lab manager of my department in South Korea. So these are some of the things, because once you know the theory, after doing the practical, because when you do the practical, it's like you're getting a product. You have to be able to interpret the product. And the theory will help you to interpret whatever that you have. So this is why we are, I say, a big struggling, because we don't have that hands-on. So if the government or maybe leadership could come in to support with equipment, that will help us to really do or that will assist us in teaching. I think it will really help the country. You see, there's a saying, one of my professors in Professor Momade, I remember when I went to South Korea, we had a talk, and he said that when he came to Ghana from Hungary, that time, his research area, because he did chemical engineering, was completely different from when he came. When he came to Ghana, he realized that we were struggling with, we had a lot of bauxite, manganese, and we were struggling to extract them. So he started research into that area. And through that, he got a lot of attention, or he got a lot of recognition, and he rose into the professorial rank. So he advised that when you come, sometimes your interest may be lying somewhere else, right? But you come and realize that it's difficult getting facilities to push your interest. So when you come back home, knowing that we have limited facilities, look for issues within the country that you can easily address with the little facilities that we have. And that alone, you can impact a lot. So that's what we are trying to do. And doing so, I've already, we are at least solving some small issues in the country, and we are making headway. So the only advice is that when you come back home, you should just maximize the little resources that we have, and that will help us. But it's our prayer that someday we have a change of mind of our leadership, and they will go fully into science and technology, which will help us. We are always importing. We are not producing. We should move away from importation to production. And that is the only way to solve our problems.